Go ahead, Andre, we're all set.
Thank you. All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Town of New Shum Town Council meeting for April 7th, 6 p.m. The Town of New Shum Town Council is meeting via telecommunications pursuant to State of Rhode Island Executive Order 20-46, dated June 12th, 2020. We do not have the bandwidth to support a video link for members of the general public, so to participate or raise your hand on your phone by pressing *9, mute and unmute by pressing *6. I will ask everybody to press *6 to mute unless they want to speak, in which case to raise your hand and then unmute by pressing *6. All right, so number one on our agenda is discuss and act on a potential acquisition of real estate, Plat 19, Lot 3, that would adversely affect the public interest. This item is a discussion pursuant to what our General Laws 42-46-5A5. Any discussions or considerations related to the acquisition of real property for public purposes or on the disposition of publicly held property wherein advanced public information would be detrimental to the interests of the public, and Rhode Island General Laws 42-46-5A7, a matter related to the question of the investment of public funds where the premature disclosure would adversely affect the public interest. Public funds shall include any investment plan or matter related thereto, including but not limited to state lottery plans for new promotions. Is there anything we can say in open session on this before we go into closed session? I guess I would ask Mary Ann.
No.
I will make a
Kathy, we're all set, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
Second, whatever.
Second by Mark. All those in favor? Martha? Martha's not here. Mark?
Aye.
Keith?
Yes.
Martha's here.
Martha is here. Sven?
Aye.
And Martha, do you?
I'm voting aye, but I'm going to recuse, so I'm not going into closed session.
Thank you. I'm in favor. Motion carries 5-0. If there's anything important when we get out of closed session, we're happy to do so. Let's see you in closed session.
So I'll see you at 7.
See you at 7. Oh, we'll let you know earlier.
Well, we can't start before 7, can we?
We'll let you know when we're done.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Martha.
Good luck.
For the land trust, I will make a motion to go into closed session. Someone want to second it? Corey, second. You have your mute on, Corey. All in favor? I vote aye. Corey? Aye. Want to vote?
Aye.
Wendy?
Aye.
I
Aye.
don't know if
Aye.
thanks, Keith. I don't think Turtle's on then, so that's it. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, so now we can all go into the closed session.
Thanks, Barbara.
Ben. It looks like you're still in open session.
Are we on?
The town council is currently in closed session. They expect to be convening the open session at 7 PM. Are they all done? Okay.
Let me know on land trust, off land trust. And Millie, if you'd let me know when the whole council's here. I have to step away for a second. I'll be right back. I have to step away for a second. I'll be right back.
Angela West.
Hello?
Hey, Martha.
I have to step away for a second. I'll be right back.
Angela West.
Andre, we're on a hold for just a moment. Molly's having some trouble with her audio and her speakers, so she's going to just have to try rebooting her computer. So if you can give us another couple minutes.
Okay, just let us know when you're ready.
Will do. Thank you.
Hey, while we're waiting, let me state the obvious. That land trust is an all-star team. Thanks for all your work.
Yeah, you say that because there are only 3 of them on the line now.
It's not even an election year either.
Oh, smile.
Martha here?
Yes, you can hear a dog.
I'm here. I was on mute.
I'm just gonna listen to the town meeting for a little while, Pat, okay?
I'm gonna get a piece of.
Andre, while we're waiting for Molly, can I do the land trust motions and then we'll have them out of the way?
I would imagine
You
that's,
know?
yeah, that'd be, as long as you got your whole team here, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, we've got a quorum, so I will make a motion to come out of closed session and seal the minutes.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Wendy. Okay, and all in favor? I vote aye. Wendy?
Aye.
Aye. And worry. And I'll also announce that no votes were taken during the closed session by the Land Trust. And now I will make a motion for the Land Trust to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Someone want to say? Seconded by Wendy. All in favor? I vote aye. Wendy?
Aye.
Aye.
But you can't leave this meeting.
I can't.
No, we
No.
won't. We're we'll stick around. I'll stick around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Andre, we're all set. Thank you.
We're all good?
Yes, thanks for your patience.
All right. No, thank you very much, Millie. Much appreciated. So coming out of closed session, I would like to make a motion to the Black Island Town Council that no votes were taken in our closed session and seal the minutes.
Second?
Seconded by Sven. All those in favor, Mark,
Aye.
Keith,
Aye.
Ben.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Motion carries 4-0 with one recusal of Martha Ball. Okay, next item on the agenda is Warden's report. I don't have anything this evening. And public comment. I see somebody with a hand up, 4869278.
Aye.
401-486-9278. If you could unmute yourself and state your name and what's on your.
Hello. Hello, Andre. Hi, this
Hi.
is Gloria.
Gloria.
Hi. In listening to last week's budget deliberations, unfortunately, somehow I had a glitch with my phone and couldn't get in to comment in a response I sought to make. So I'm therefore asking for this moment under public comment to make a few observations, if that's okay, and I ask your indulgence to do that.
Oh, no, that's okay.
First, okay.
Hold on.
So thank you.
Gloria, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Can can the town clerk's label Gloria? Put a name up there. And we are having a budget public after the COVID-19. Would that be more appropriate for you to comment, or?
If you're, either way would be good. I unfortunately am not able, because of a family issue, unable to spend. I would love to stay and listen to the whole hearing. But if I could get my comment in after the COVID, that would be fine as well. Whichever is better for you guys.
Go ahead under public comment.
Okay, thank you. I'm Gloria Redlick, as you know, senior coordinator working with the Senior Advisory Committee. And first I want to say that we're very gratified to have learned of one or more contributions to the Senior Advisory since the last meeting, the last town hearing. These are expressions of deep generosity on the part of Islanders, and we cannot thank them enough. However, we believe that we cannot always depend on individual donations and feel that certain significant responsibilities lie within the mandate of our municipality. Tonight, I would like to respond to a concern that was expressed by a counselor last time, that we must protect island taxpayers. To that end, it was thought that if we could take some $5,000 off the budget, we should do so. We at the Senior Advisory absolutely agree with the notion and the desire to protect taxpayers. Indeed, that is what we are asking you to do, all taxpayers. We refer you again to a group comprised of senior islanders that makes up a significant percentage of the taxpayers' base on the island. According to several counts, more than a third of the total year-round population. As such, we think the town should prioritize this group of taxpayers somewhat more on a par with others. Further, it seems in a way that we have a misunderstanding, and I think it's a result of semantics. For example, when we speak of the limited number of available caregivers on island or needing to create a caregiver training program in order to build up our pool, what do people actually hear when we say caregiver? Daughter or son taking care of mom or dad, a friend helping out a friend, unpaid persons taking on responsibilities and doing tasks for their elder companions who are no longer capable of doing them. We remind you that we are called in, the senior advisory is called in, when the children and the friends can no longer handle the care, and then they seek paid, and shall we rename them from caregiver to home health aide? Does it help us if we change the name, calling them home health aides? Does that help change the equation? Help us recognize that they, caregiver or health aide, are as integral a component in maintaining the health and well-being of island residents, as important, in fact, as medications or therapies prescribed by medical practitioners, because without those aides, individuals might not be able to remain on island. Perhaps this is a discussion that should take us, or will take us furthermore or later, eventually, to determine whether or not we ought to create a seniors department or an agency. That will depend on perhaps officials, medical center personnel, and we at SAC putting our heads together. For the moment, though, in the meantime, as you sort out the $27,000 source that you mentioned last week, that you had discovered, particularly some $5,000 of which was spoken of as possibly being redirected in various ways, we're simply asking that you dedicate some of those found monies to helping us build up our home health aid numbers, underwriting background checks, and CPR training, as well as helping us sustain our senior ride service. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.
You're very welcome, Gloria. We appreciate your time. All right. Update on COVID-19 vaccines. I see Dr. Warkup's here.
Hi, can everybody hear me?
We can, Tom. Thank you so much for coming tonight. This has been quite a
You're welcome.
Quite a bit of movement in this area, I guess.
Great news overall. So as of to date, we have 825 total shots given, which is tremendous. We have 392 total community members fully vaccinated. We have 41 members that have received their first vaccine only. We have the second round for the teachers coming up soon. So that's, I think, a tremendous lift. As we put out in the statements from our medical center, social media, I think Marianne Crawford did the same, as we have the vaccine interest notification list. You can get that through the portal.ri.gov. So that's the vaccination interest notification list through the portal.ri.gov. Islanders can go and sign up onto that website region. What that is a compromise with the DMAT and the Department of Health to have 25 vaccinations per week on the island. So it'll be in conjunction with the swabbing processes that they're currently doing. They're hoping to do a Johnson & Johnson, which is a one-shot regimen. So therefore, we won't have to have people waiting for their second vaccine. And as of today, it's still very much true. The best vaccine is the one that you can get. And often, other than maybe some of those individuals with comorbid conditions, many of the younger people, 16 and up, would really do well with a one-shot strategy, which is also a strategy that we can hope to piggyback on for seasonal workers, younger people in that 18 to 25 to 30-year-old range. So if anyone does not have internet or an email access in order to sign up for that list, you can call 844-930-1779, 930-1779, and somebody will assist you to get onto that list. Many times we can get extra vaccines from the vials that are produced and manufactured. If there are extra doses that particular day, they will call people from that list based on the oldest down to the youngest. And if you have any questions, there's a number you can call for the state, 401-222-8022. That's 222-8022. And before, if anybody has any questions, I want to add something to Ms. Redlick. We had a recent conversation with South County Home Health. They are actively looking for anyone that is on the island that is interested in becoming a home health aide. They will employ you, train you, and guarantee employment for 2 years after finished training for those individuals that would like to be a home health aide, an official home health aide for the island community. That's through South County Health Systems. Again, any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me and I'll get you in touch with the right people.
Thank you, Tom. Does anybody have any questions for Tom regarding vaccinations or anything you like?
Thank you.
All right. And
You're welcome.
Tom, can I ask you about, obviously we're getting a lot of phone calls and, people run into or starting to get concerned. I wouldn't say concerned, but, being on the front line of the tourism industry, vaccinated, not vaccinated. Can you talk about vaccinations and variants?
Sure. Right now, it's a very hot topic. Fortunately, right now, for the Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and the Pfizer-BioNTech, it appears that it is very competent against the British variant that is becoming the dominant variant throughout the United States. This is a variant that maybe about 4 months ago was 3% of the entire variants, and now it's almost 50% of the variants, and it's changing on a regular basis. So the vaccines that we would have regular access to are very competent against the variants. There's some additional variants that are coming out now that are being talked about on the national scene where there's a mutation within a variant. Right now, there's no data to suggest that the vaccines that we have are not competent against that, but that's something the CDC is rapidly testing, and which is why they're often asking people not to laminate your card, even though that was a very popular process to do, because we do think that that card will be some type of a validation, whether it be from travel or any other type of process, employment, et cetera. If there is a booster that will be developed, you can then add that booster onto your card. So if you haven't laminated your card, please don't do so. But right now, the booster option is purely in consideration right now, but there's nothing yet produced on the mainstream.
Much appreciated, Tom. Also, I know the answer to this, but I'm just wondering if you could let the public know when we get the question of why only 25 a week. I know it's on the ratio of population, but could you explain that in professional terms?
Sure. It's I want to say that even though it may be disappointing to many of us, it's still a pretty big win. The state has really moved to this regional pod section where they're setting them up in West Kingston, or they're setting them up in Cranston in the Dunkin' Donuts Center. And this was part of the new leadership at the state level to really just centralize vaccinations, have to reduce the variations that are out there and workload. So it has a lot of merit unless you live in a geographic area like us. It is difficult for our members to get off the island, have to spend an entire day making this happen. So their compromise was they weren't initially interested in doing this, that when they come out with DMAT to do swabbing, could they or could they not do some vaccinations? They agreed. They originally were only going to do 20. We wanted 30. We settled on 25. And I hope that as they see that it is not as large of a lift as they may be documenting as a workflow, that they'll start bringing 30, 40, 50. And I think that is something that we can work on as they gain more experience, that they can do this well. But from a variation, if I could ask, and I put it out in our documents, unlike swabbing where you can walk up and get swabbed, they will enforce that you have to sign up. They will not take walk-up people to see if there's extra vaccine. You must sign up on the website in order to receive the vaccine.
Perfect. Thank you. Much appreciated. Does anybody have any comments or questions for the doctor? Anybody from the council? Anybody from public? I would like to add that if you do are lucky enough to get a vaccination on the mainland, and you're even luckier to get a reservation on the ferry, I would certainly say to schedule that car for your inspection, because we know this is the time of year where car inspections are checked, and we go through this every year where it gets to be a long line. And so I would suggest, if you're going for vaccination, bring the car and make an appointment to have the inspection done. And that would certainly greatly reduce your strain on waiting out here for that. Doctor, I certainly appreciate it. I don't think we have any more questions for you. Keep up the good work, you and your staff. Much appreciated.
All right. I'll be here. If any questions come up, I'll be here.
All right. Thank you again, Tom. Next item on the agenda is a budget public hearing. I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing on the budget.
Second.
Seconded by Sven. All those in favor? Mark?
Aye.
Martha?
Aye.
You say me? Yes.
You did, yes. Sven? You good?
Aye.
Sorry.
I'm in favor also. Motion carries 5-0. All right, so budget public hearing. Marianne, you want to lead off with this?
Sure, I'll be happy to. Just for the council's information and also the general public, this year we have 2 public hearings. In recent years, the town only had 1 public hearing. We had a recent proposed charter amendment that would require us to have 2 public hearings. So that was approved by the voters of New Charms. The second public hearing will take place tomorrow night. That's at 4:00 in the afternoon. It'll be very similar to what you're seeing now, but it would allow us to comply with the charter provision that we need to have 2 public hearings. As we stated earlier in the budget session, at the first session, the finance director and I worked on this budget. Amy did the bulk of the work, and I just offered some thoughts and comments as we went along. And both of us are confident that this budget will provide the expected town service and meet the needs of our growing school. It will afford us time to plan, source, secure potential federal funding for additional long-term projects that we need to fund future growth and mitigate infrastructure stress while deploying technology deliveries efficiency. The budget that you have that has been forwarded to you this evening, there are some changes to it based on the work sessions that we had. If you remember, at the last work session, we brought to the council that we did hear from our health insurance, the trust, that they do anticipate the amount of health insurance increase there will not be an increase, that it will be a 0 increase. We will have confirmation on that probably in the next few days or next week. So therefore, that gave us another $27,000 worth of funding that the council chose, that they would take 50% of that funding and put it into the fire department and the other 50% in the Block Island Medical Service. The budget documents that have all been updated, the narrative have been updated. The budget documents as relates to health insurance and every single line items has been reduced by that particular amount, and the funds reallocated to the community service of the fire department and the Block Island Medical Center. At this point, I will now turn over to the council if they have any questions or comments about the budget. Also, I did forward to the council an email that a Second Ward of Winsome had sent regarding that he would like to have some discussion regarding the capital plan, the 8-year capital plan, which also can happen this evening in this public hearing. So with that, I would turn it over to the council.
Thank you, Marianne. I don't have any comments right now. Council? Keith?
I'm not sure whether this is the right place, but having sort of experiencing my first budget process, I do have a comment and a suggestion. What I found somewhat at least interesting about the process as it stands is that the town manager, Marianne, Amy, really sort of work off of what was there last year. You look, for example, at the community support line items, and they're all the ones that have kind of been there for a while. And it occurred to me that I think it would be worthwhile to actually begin our budget process after the summer season, after Columbus Day, with a meeting about a town council meeting about the budget, where the town council talks about the things that we view as our priorities, where we're hearing in the community there are fewer needs or more needs, and also have public input at that meeting, so that when Marianne is going forth, that there is kind of that sort of input from the community and from us about what may well be shifting priorities over time. The priorities of 5 years ago may not be the priorities of now. And I think it's the sort of thing that can get us on track toward the council and the community focusing on what our long-term budget needs are, what our long-term budget picture might be. I'm reminded especially of a comment that Dr. Workup made, in a recent meeting, where his concern is working over time to get to a place. It's not about necessarily this year. It's about whatever, building up our capacity on senior services, building up our capacity on a rescue squad. I'm sort of picking these things, but it just seems like we have this, we have town staff working their behinds off like crazy. And then we have this compressed schedule, but we don't have a lot of time reserved for a conversation like the one that you led recently, Andre, on capital spending, or the one that Sven is talking about on capital. We should be doing the same thing, in my opinion, on budget. And the time for that is before Marianne and Amy and others are harem scarum up to the neck trying to make the thing balance. So that's my thought.
I can actually speak to that. We've discussed that. I think for the past, we discussed that, Sven might remember a year. Unfortunately, this year we had a pandemic and we had an election and a new town manager come in. But the end of the summer was when, everything's on our minds and whatnot. So I agree with you 100%. We've been trying to get on track to do that, to have the initial discussion start in October, early November.
Great.
For the reasons you say, but like I said, I think, I don't think that would have been fruitful this year because
right.
we all didn't join, I'd say, the circus here until December 7th. So moving forward, great idea. I think, let's hope we can get on the track. Maybe we could even actually put that on the work session list so we don't lose it. Sven, do you have anything?
I'll talk capital whenever we're done with the other budget.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I guess following a little bit to your comments just now, Andre, and because we hadn't had those meetings, first of all, I can't compliment enough Amy and Marianne's work in putting the budget together. And the biggest aha to me this year has been how little we actually have, quote unquote, control of it. And how much is tied up in what I call people. But on the capital side, it's a bit different. And for all those who may remember a number of meetings ago, we went through, Amy brought us through the capital plan. And I believe Marianne sent a note out to all the council members. And I'd just like to review a couple of points that I would like to discuss, or at least start discussing now, that I feel are important, but are indicative of my priorities and my desires. And I'll just hit 3 or 4 top line ones. One is I believe we should move dollars forward from 2024 to 2023, so literally next year, regarding the Coast Guard station. And as many of you know, I have done almost everything I can in my life to try and get that Coast Guard station used to a good service, and been very frustrated in all my efforts. We've met with URI, we met with Roger Williams, with so many people. And now I've come to the decision that let's make it into 3 really, really good housing opportunities for town employees. And we have a huge housing issue. Andre, you talked about this many times, very appropriately. And here we've got a building that could house a number of summer employee, a number of year-round town employees that could be a beautiful place to live. So one effort I'd like to see on the capital plan is moving forward, meaning closer to 2023, the $1.5 million on the Coast Guard station renovation. The second is about the Harbor Master Welcome Center. Right now, the line item exists, but there's no funding in it. That's been, I think it was taken out of the capital. Well, I won't ask why, but I think we need to do this. I think it's a critical priority, and I just don't want to see that disappear from the capital plan. And I just want to make sure it's in there. We can debate where it goes. The other big piece, and there are small pieces that I mentioned about pedestrian traffic study and all that. But the other big piece that I would like to see move forward to 2023 is the $3.5 million transfer station rebuild. And the reason I would like to see the transfer station rebuild move forward is around, one, safety. For all of us who have been there, Sean has done an amazing job, and huge, kudos to the team there. Clean, they're doing their very, very best. But just the design of it and all the cars and the movement of people. So safety is a big one, but also I really want to prioritize composting. We've talked about that as a priority. I know Mark has, Keith has, you have, Andre. And there are ways in this rebuild, per my discussion with Sean, to add in composting and to remove scales, to do a number of different things to make it a better, simpler place. But really, my goal is to add in composting. And so I would like to see that move to the 2023. I do know that there are implications in my statements around debt load, et cetera, but I think those are really sort of important initiatives that I think are priorities we should discuss. Thank you.
Thank you, Sven. Anybody have any comments on those items? Council? Go ahead, Keith.
I actually agree with those things. So I don't know how this works, whether that was in the form of a motion or that comes later. I guess my question is a procedural one.
I think what we're doing, I'm not sure you'll need a motion. I'll defer to the
Great.
I think that's just something Mary Ann could do. I mean, I'm fine with adding $2,500,000 to new Harbor Master Welcome Center. It's been discussed over the years. I really don't understand the need. But there are also, you can put it there as a placeholder, but I also see in the plans for Boat Basin that there's something there. I'm thinking public-private partnership to be explored with that instead of putting $2.5 million in there. We can put it there as a placeholder, but I think $2.5 million is a big placeholder that I'm not saying is unnecessary. I'm just saying I'd like to explore the other options.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Andre?
Go ahead, Martha.
Yeah, I do have the same concern about I don't want to lose the opportunity to have public-private partnership, not just as a money issue, but as getting things done. And I know it's really, everyone loves to say in this town, kick the can down the road. Everyone loves to say deferred maintenance. There's an underlying problem that no one is willing to address, and that is how difficult it is to get things done. You can put everything you want on this chart. You can put all the projects in the world, but if you don't have a realistic expectation of what can be done in a certain time frame, you're not going to do all this stuff in a year because you want it done. It's not going to happen. I think we have to be adults about this. Put a plan, put a timeline. I won't support that amount of money for the new harbor. I think we don't know right now where we're going to go and what chances we have to work with people. And I think it's from so many perspectives, working with people on that pond is terribly important. I just don't see any reason to have to be duplicating effort if there's a possibility of not. The bar was set high with the dinghy dock, and I would hope other people would step forward. That said, the transfer station does need work. That's needed work since David Holt was here. I don't think the things that he had in the plan were ever done. I've never seen the traffic as an issue, but of course I go there once a month maybe. And the Coast Guard station, again, it's the same thing with the plan and the expectation and the timeline. And heck, we can't get a plumber out here. We all know that. That there just has to be something other than, oh, here's the money. That's not in and of itself going to get us anywhere.
Thank you, Martha Ball. Sven, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think Martha and you brought up really good points. Absolutely would love to pursue public-private partnerships on new harbor facility. Right now, those numbers are there in the budget for the Coast Guard station, and they're in the budget for the transfer station. I'm trying to move them forward so that we can actually get plans together and really start to make motions, for example, on composting. So really, I'm shifting by a couple of years on those two items. And Martha, I agree with you. Let's do everything we can for maintenance. Let's do all that. But if they're not in the budget, then there's not even a chance those could happen. And between safety and composting, I do think the transfer station, and again, huge compliments to Sean and that group. I think we need real work there. So I guess I'm trying to say it's a big priority to me. I know Mark has talked about composting and others have. So I guess I stand by wanting to try and move it forward. But I hear your caution.
It's more than just composting down there.
Oh yeah, no, it's a whole rebuild. It's an absolute rebuild. Oh, absolutely. Oh no, it's about safety. It's about moving the scale. I mean, Sean knows it better than anybody, but oh yeah, it's a rebuild.
So if I could jump in really quickly, and I think I'm going to punt this to Amy, because I'm not clear on this, but I know I saw something on this as it relates to in the ordinance about we need to come up with a plan first before we move forward with the actual, that's part of the ordinance, before we move forward with the actual construction. Amy, can you help us out here as to what needs to be done?
Sure.
Please.
And yeah, so I would suggest a sort of a compromise to Sven's approach, which is to accelerate the project by in 2023, setting aside either the design dollars, or in the case of the transfer station, probably a facility study to figure out what you're then going to do in 2024 with whatever money needs to be allocated. Does that, go ahead.
So does that mean, Amy, I'm making the number up for a minute. If it's 3.5 million right now, we would take 150,000 of that 3.5 million, move it forward and make that a design study?
Exactly.
Correct.
Thank
exactly.
You. I love it. That's great. Done.
That's how we move the plan forward.
No, that's great. I mean, that gets, thank you. And I love that idea on that and the Coast Guard station.
And with the Coast Guard station, presumably the council will still want to have a discussion about narrowing, not doing the open-ended, what are we going to do with it plan, but maybe narrowing that scope and doing a more detailed design, which then you move to construction of in the second phase.
So maybe if there is a proposal that should go on, do you need a proposal to do that, or can that be Mary Ann, you and Mary Ann work that in the budget?
I think we can make those adjustments. Again, because we are in a transitional ordinance, I don't believe it's a vote of the council. But
Thank you. If the council agrees with it, I love, that's great. Thank you.
Any more comments on the budget? So just so I have, and we're clear about Sven's memo, where are we going with that and what's that going to look like? Mary
So
Ann?
what I heard was in 2020, we're going to keep the big dollar amounts, the 1.5 or the whatever they are currently, where they are currently in 2024. In 2023, we're going to put the planning phase of it, which would be about $100,000 to $150,000 for both the transfer station and the Coast Guard facility. And the transfer station really needs a complete redesign.
Yes.
As we talked about, for a number of reasons. You know, safety, we want to look in exploring composting. There's some requirements with DEM regarding composting. So that'll be all part of the planning, and it will lay out the roadmap to get to Martha's point. It will lay out the roadmap for us as to how's best to proceed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Any comments from the public on the budget? All right, I am just going to ask either Amy or Mary Ann. We are asking for a 5.9 increase. So can you, just for the public, go through the process of approving the budget? I know that, well, I'll let you do it. Like, we gotta
Sure.
we got to go to the state, we got 4/5 of the council. Can you explain those steps in their order, if you will?
Sure. So this budget that's proposed today, $16,560,130. It's an 8.1% increase over the current year, and it reflects a 5.9% increase in the property tax levy. State law caps that increase at 4%. So approval of the 5.9%, that incremental 1.9% increase in the levy, requires a supermajority vote of the town council, and we'll do that at the close of the public hearing tomorrow when you forward the budget to financial town meeting. It requires an affirmative vote of the voters at financial town meeting, so there will be a separate warrant question ratifying that increase above the cap. It also requires approval by the state, the Department of Revenue, which we expect to be an administrative approval, and we'll be submitting that documentation between the close of the public hearing and financial town meeting. So all those things will come together to support the budget that's in front of everyone today.
Thank you, Amy. So to be clear, now that we have two public hearings, are we leaving this open for this evening? Or are we closing it this evening and reopening it tomorrow? So that 4/5 vote, is that tonight and tomorrow night, or is that tomorrow night?
I would do it tomorrow night because you never know what may come up tomorrow night.
Yes.
Okay.
So do that tomorrow night. And point of order with Kathy Muller, the solicitor. Kathy, the charter now requires us to have two public hearings. Can we just take this public hearing and continue it tomorrow, or do we have to close this public hearing and open the second one tomorrow? How's that work?
I would close this and open the second one tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's what I thought.
So back to what Amy said about the budget. We need a 4/5 vote of the council to approve this budget, and then it gets sent off to the state for administrative approval. That administrative approval, whether it's yes or no, will come back to us before the financial town meeting?
Yes.
So then we have that to act on, and then
It will be a contingent approval in that the entire package is not fully done until the voters also ratify it. Right? So,
right, but we will know what the state's pretty much going to tell us before we go to the
Right.
vote with the package.
correct. Yes.
Correct.
Thank you so much. I was a little unclear on that myself. So that's the way it's done. That's the way it's done. All right. I don't see any comments from the public. I don't see any comments from the council. I will make a motion to close the budget public hearing.
Second.
Seconded by Sven. All those in favor, Martha?
Aye.
Keith,
Yes.
Ben,
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
I'm in favor, motion carries 5-0. Next item on the agenda is to set the public hearing date for the New Shore Housing Board application to amend the zoning map to change designation of Housing Board property on West Side Road, Plat 18, Lot 2-3, from a residential A zone to an NHC zone. Marion?
I'm going to ask Molly or Millie to jump in because they're probably more familiar with the timeline and when we need to advertise and when would be the earliest you can hold this public hearing.
Appreciate that, thank you.
Hey, it's 3 weeks, right? It's Molly, Millie, it's 3 weeks we got advertised.
No, not at all.
Hello?
Yes, hi, I'm sorry. We were just having a quick chat amongst ourselves, Molly and I. So at any rate, yes, it's three weeks advertising. We're going to ask to move forward with this. It's going to come with a separate component, I believe, that will involve amending the comp plan because that particular piece of property is noted as a low density developed lot in the comp plan. So there will be a separate step to this. So it's going to come back to the council maybe at the next meeting for setting a public hearing date for that. That is something that was just kind of came to light today. At any rate, we are going to, I think, ask for you to go ahead and set a public hearing date for June.
Yep.
Although we may need a little bit more time from there, it may end up being, end up having to be pushed out to July. So that might be a question for Kathy as to whether it's appropriate to set June and continue if need be, or to jump into a later date.
You can set it for now. You can set it, but the problem is if it gets continued, you got to advertise it again.
And we probably want to go out later than before because the comp plan adjustment would require the state getting involved with regional planning has to have a comment period on that as well. That's additional 30 days after it's approved locally. So I think we would be looking at maybe an interim July time if everything goes smoothly.
Millie?
Martha's got a question.
Yes.
Do we have any kind of assurance of state on how long that will actually take?
We do not. At this
time. As Millie said, this just came to our attention this afternoon, so that's why we're kind of, fumbling with where we are with this.
They've been kind of, I just know how long it can take longer than we think, hope, wish.
Want.
Would it be best at this point to table this to the next meeting and let us get the answers to the question, Millie? As to the timeline? Which would mean the next meeting's April 21st.
Right. The only issue with that is that it would slow us down another, slow down the process another additional month.
Right.
If you were to start today, then the planning board has it actually on their agenda already for their meeting week. And otherwise they wouldn't be able to address that until their May meeting to start with. So, I mean, it's not like we're going to be moving earth very soon, but we would love to get this underway because it makes a difference to our planning.
So let's set that. Do you have an exact date for that public hearing in July? I don't mind setting it, and then if we need to, we can adjust it.
The interim date is the 21st of July. If you were to select that date.
Okay.
Okay, I've got another question. So, but the advertising isn't until 3 weeks out from that date, right? So this won't impact your advertising if we change it.
Correct.
we're just trying to get the ball rolling. Is that what this is about tonight?
Right, but if we choose the date of, I don't know if we choose the date of, if you set the public hearing date today of July, I don't know whether it can be moved or not before it's advertised. I imagine it can be, but that's another question for Kathy.
Okay, thanks.
But
Okay.
dominoes could then start moving, right, Millie? So planning board, et cetera, et cetera.
That's what we would love to see happen, correct?
I'm in absolute support.
Of setting the date?
Yeah, just so that we can start, I mean, yeah, just so we can get planning board and all the other pieces moving.
This in place.
I will make a motion to set the public hearing date for July 21st, 2021 for the New Shoreham Housing Board application to amend the zoning map to change the designation of Housing Board property on the West Side Road, Plat 18, Lot 2-3 from residential A zone to NHZ zone, which would be New Harbor Commercial.
Second.
Seconded by Keith. All those in favor? Hold on a second. You know what? I'm just going to read what the motion has been made and seconded, and I'm just going to read the memo from the
Housing board.
Housing Board. The Housing Board was able to purchase Plat 1823 from the O'Brien family, which made the sale in support of year-round housing on Block Island. The board recently completed its Cherry Hill project and is shifting its focus to this parcel, now known as the Ball O'Brien property. Preliminary steps have included clearing and surveying the property, conducting a housing needs survey and analysis, and beginning to evaluate potential development options. The land use administrative officer suggested in a preliminary meeting with the board that, in her opinion, the best option for maximizing the development potential would be to petition the council for a change in the zoning map, effectively moving Plat 18, Lot 2-3 from the residential A zone to the New Harbor Commercial Zone. This would allow an affordable housing density compatible to the adjacent East Searles Ball, West Side 20, and Salt Pond settlement properties. Changing the zoning designation of this property makes sense. While it is currently part of the residential A zone, it is not contiguous with any part of that zone, which is developed in single-family residential form. It is, in effect, an island bounded by town property, the Island Cemetery, the East Searles Ball Apartments, the Salt Pond Settlement Development, and the Ball O'Brien Recreational Facility. Also in the neighborhood are the West Side 20 homes and the Trims Ridge Cluster Subdivision. Across the road is the contiguous New Harbor Commercial Zone, which would expand to encompass this lot. In short, it is difficult to envision a property or location more well-suited to an affordable housing use. The New Shoreham Comprehensive Plan supports the use in this location in many ways, as outlined in the accompanying document. Making the zone change will allow the Housing Board to proceed under existing provisions of the zoning ordinance, obviating the need for special review process or exceptions. So motion has been made and seconded on this proposal. Any comments? I think
I
it's
just had one procedural question for Millie. Do we also have to set a public hearing for a revision to the comp plan?
That is going to come up probably at the March
Gotcha.
March,
Okay. I
April.
just wasn't sure whether it would be easier to do both things on at the
It's
same
not
time.
agenda at this time, so it will come.
Gotcha. Oh, right. Of course. Yeah. I forgot about that. Forgot about that part.
The rules.
Yeah, that whole rules thing.
motion is made and seconded. All those in favor, Martha,
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Keith?
Yep.
Mark?
Aye.
I'm in favor. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you for your work, Millie, and the Housing Board's work on this.
Andre, may I just want to put a bug in your ear. I am going to contact you guys about setting a special meeting to meet with the Housing Board. We've got some really interesting development ideas that we wanted to share with you. And I did have a sit down with Marianne today to try to figure out when this could come before you in a work session. And unfortunately, it was looking like it was going to be way out in the deep, dark distance. So I would just like to ask you to consider between now and the time that I contact you about it further, meeting with us and having a special meeting with us. Thank you.
Sure, we can accommodate that. Just let us know the dates. We've all been pretty good about meeting and in short notice. So if you need us, we're here.
Thank you.
I was just going to say, I think all of us will do anything to help the housing board. It's been such a great, productive group. And if that means meeting on an extra meeting, I'm up for it.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Discuss an act number 6, discuss an act on set a public hearing date on the proposal of the Motor Vehicles for Hire Commission to amend section 8-161 of the general ordinance to increase the allowable seating capacities from taxis from 12 to 14.
Andre, at this time, I'll be recusing myself.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'm recusing. I'm not going to sign off because it's too complicated, but I'm recusing.
Okay, thank you, Martha. That's what I was waiting to hear.
Do we need a motion for this?
We just need to know the date.
And we need the date.
We need the date of the posting from the clerks.
Yeah, Martha, when can we hold this public hearing?
May 4th would be fine.
Make a motion that we set a public hearing date on May 4th, 2020 on the proposal of the Motor Vehicles for Hire Commission to amend section 8-161 of the general ordinances to increase the allowable seating capacity of the taxis from 12 to 14.
Second.
Seconded by Sven. All those in favor, Sven?
Aye.
And Keith?
Yes.
And I'm in favor. Motion carries 3-0 with 2 recusals. Okay, so May 4th. Number 7 on the agenda, receive and act on the Jitney pilot program from the summer of 2021. As I understand, there was a memo sent today by Sven Rism regarding this item. Sven, if you want to discuss that.
Sure. There is no Jitney program, and so that name should never appear again. But there is no Jitney program. The taxi cab operators have, as we all know, have been working through a plan. And I was in a meeting today with the Motor Vehicles for Hire Commission and identified some things that they need to be doing. The operators are planning what's called a sort of a point-to-point type of approach, and it'll all be coming forward, but I think it's very exciting and a local positive solution that the operators themselves will be running. And hopefully it'll help alleviate congestion and move people more efficiently than in the past.
Okay. Sven, I just want to stop you there for a second. I want to let the record note that I think Mark and
oh, sorry.
I think Mark and Martha are still recused for this item. That's all. I tried to stop you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry about that. I apologize totally.
No. Go ahead. My fault.
Oh, so anyway, without repeating, there is no Jitney program. There is a program being developed by independent operators, taxi cab drivers, and had a meeting with them today. I don't want to repeat everything. And they are moving forward. And I believe the Motor Vehicles for Hire Commission will be coming forward with some requests for the town council regarding a couple of things, and all positive.
So there's nothing to vote on this tonight?
There's nothing to vote on that I know of now. The key thing is what we just set for May 5th, which was the increase in numbers from 11 to 14. Unless anybody has any other input, I don't believe we need to vote on anything today.
Keith?
I just wanted to say, because I think we need to. We would not, Sven and I attended this meeting today, and it just struck me as I was leaving that we would not be in this place if this ball hadn't been pushed forward by you, Andre, you, Marianne, and you, Sven, and your conversations, Marianne's work with RIPTA, et cetera. I think we are only here because people decided to work in good faith on a solution for the town. Judy Clark has done a wonderful job. Brad Marthins is, actually has a business that doesn't involve taxis. he's spent an incredible amount of time. Marianne has a job that doesn't involve taxis, and she's spent an extraordinary amount of time. And I just wanted to say thank you. I find myself very hopeful about, a homegrown solution for this, and just appreciate all the work that's gone into it, and frankly all the work that's been done to really sort of get us in a position to kind of make this happen. So thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Just to be clear, this is not the solution that I was looking for. I was looking for more of a public transportation kind of thing that would be fair and equitable to everybody. I was looking also for a wider loop that would cover more of the town. This is why I don't see anything here that's going to change my vote on anything that I haven't supported this since day one. This is not what we were looking for. In my opinion, it looks to me as though this is going to bring more people into town. It's going to bring more people in from New Harbor into town. But you know what? If this is where it's at, it's just not the apples to apples is what we were trying to do. But we'll see how it goes.
And Andre, because you mentioned that, and you have been very consistent on that, though. So thank you for saying that. Just so people in the audience know, because Andre mentioned about in town, the 5 point-to-point taxi stands that were discussed this morning are currently downtown near Rebecca, the Beach Pavilion, Paynes Dock, Boat Basin, and Champlin's. And that's sort of a point-to-point service or point-to-point rate. So that's where the loop is, just Andre's point, so people know what's been discussed.
Right, and it just doesn't take into consideration all the thousands that take a left when they get off the ferry, all the thousands that go to the Bluffs every day. But here we are.
Yep.
Next on the agenda is discuss and act on mobile food license of Block Island Gourmet. I'm going to be recusing on this one. And Molly, kind of off the topic, clerks, I'm just, if recusal slips, I know a lot of the counselors have been, in the past month or so, I just want to make sure everybody's filling out their recusal slips. But Sven, I'm going to turn the mobile food establishment license over to you.
Already? Perfect. Yeah, you're recused. And Mark, do we need to contact Mark or Martha? They're back in?
They're both here.
Okay, beautiful. Good. So the item on the agenda is discuss and act on mobile food establishment license, Block Island Gourmet LLC. I think everybody has in their packets the letter from Cindy Kelly dated March 1st, license relinquishment. I hereby relinquish New Shore Mobile Food Establishment Permit number 20 MFE04 as of March 1, 2021. I sold the food truck to Block Island Gourmet LLC. And now we have the application from Block Island Gourmet LLC as a mobile food establishment. Is anybody here from Block Island Gourmet? Sean, I see you.
Yes.
Maybe you can help us and help everybody in the audience. I have the packet here, but there are some 25 people that don't.
Yes. So, Cindy Kelly approached us this year regarding the food truck service on Corneck Road. She had approached several people before she approached us. She did tell us that. Myself and Rosalie, my wife Rosalie, we thought about the opportunity last summer. We discovered just how aligned we are with the wedding business, and it was a tough year for us last year. So we decided that it would be something worthwhile pursuing, especially with the uncertainties in our industry right now. So yeah, we went forward with it. Cindy's a great lady. She's great. She's built a great business there, and we hope to be able to keep that standard going, and that's where we are.
Perfect. Mary Ann or Kathy, just as a process point of view, because this is one of the first new licenses within sort of the state structure. I know that Sean, all right, in this packet, Sean has the mobile food establishment registration from the state, which is sort of step one. Kathy, do we need to do anything special? I'm just double checking on process given the new state laws.
I would assume that the clerk's office would not have put it on the agenda if they hadn't received all the certifications that they needed to move forward. But I don't know what's in the file. I don't know what's been submitted.
That's
Molly,
right, Kathy. We found that the license was complete, and they're asking for a location that's previously been approved by the town council.
Okay, good.
Yeah, which for everybody on the phone here, there's sort of two, thank you, Molly, and thank you, Kathy. There are two steps to this process. One, making sure that the locations are certified. There's a set of locations, and then two, that the actual food truck, food establishment, MFE, is then approved. Any questions by anybody on the council? Mark, Keith, Martha. Keith.
I don't have a question, Sean. I just have a comment that I think for the entire time Cindy Kelly was in the business, she was an incredible asset to the community. But I know for a lot of the population over the past year who were stuck indoors in their homes and isolated, I really have the sense that Cindy was an essential part of our community's resilience through the pandemic. You know, not just providing good food, but providing engagement and et cetera. So, I'm sad she's leaving. I know that these folks will do a great job, but I think we should just take a second to thank Cindy for everything she's done for our community.
Any other comments? Mark, Martha.
Yeah, I agree with Keith. It's an awful tough act to follow, but I'm sure that Sean and Rosalie will do a super job also. I have a question on locations. The last location listed is Great Salt Pond. And I can't scratch my head and think of any place on Great Salt Pond unless it's the K&H property, but I thought that was abandoned.
I believe we can, Molly, you can correct me, but I believe that is a boat potentially that sells donuts.
That's the location for the boat that sells donuts.
Andiamo to you, man.
The only concern I have, and we brought it up every single year since it started down there, is the safety factor. Just keep an eye out to the road as often as possible, because that gets very congested down there. It turns into a bottleneck, and a victim of Cindy's success, and will soon be your success. So keep an eye out there, and if you need some additional help as far as safety, whatever we can provide, make sure we find out as soon as possible.
Martha, any comments?
No, I don't have any. Everything appears to be in order.
Okay. And Molly, thank you so much for making sure it's all in order and doing a great job as always. I'll make a motion to approve the mobile food establishment license for Block Island Gourmet LLC.
Thank you for hearing our application, everybody.
Oh, one second. The motion's been made. We need a second.
Second.
Any discussions or Sean?
No, I just wanted to thank you for hearing our application, and come see us sometime on Cornick Road.
All righty. Hearing no discussion. Actually, with Molly, with that motion, did I need to put a date in the motion? I just, or
No,
is it
the
okay?
license, oddly enough, these town licenses will run with the dates that are on the state approvals. So
Thank you. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to make sure.
we'll fill it in.
Thank you. Motion made, seconded. Mark,
Aye.
Keith,
Yes.
Martha,
Aye.
and I vote affirmative. Andre recused, so it's a 4-0 vote, unanimous, and good luck. Thank you, and we look forward.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.
And Andre, you are back.
I just want to wish Sean and Rosalie the best of luck. It's a lot of fun out there, and welcome to the crowd.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Andre.
Next item on the agenda is discuss and act on the request of the Block Island Housing Board to waive town fees for the development of the O'Brien property. Millie, do you want to speak on that, or Mary Ann?
You have a letter in your packet from Cindy Pappas from the Housing Board. They are now beginning to look at the Bull O'Brien property and begin the design and construction of that project going forward. So they're requesting that, as we've done in the past, as the town has done in the past, that the town will waive all fees associated with the this application and with any building permits. And I recommend that the council approve this request.
Thank you, Mary Ann. And that letter does read, as the Housing Board begins to turn the attention to the Bull O'Brien property off the West Side Road, we respectfully request that you continue the past practice of waiving all town fees associated with our future applications and building permits. Thank you for your consideration, Cindy Pappas from the Housing Board. I'll make a motion to waive the town fees for the development of the Bull O'Brien property for the Block Island Housing Board.
Hey, Andre, as a proud member of the original Housing Board, I'll second that.
Motion is seconded by Mark. All those in favor, any discussion? Hearing none from the council, seeing no hands up in the public. All those in favor, Martha?
Aye.
Keith?
Yes.
Sven?
Aye.
And Mark?
Aye.
I'm in favor. Motion carries 5-0. Next item on the agenda is to receive and act on town manager recommendation to approve the New Shoreham Police Department purchase, A, mobile data terminals and automated fingerprint identification system, also known as AFIS. I see Mary Ann is, Mary Ann's here, and
So what's before you this evening is, the first one is what's MDT, or mobile devices, mobile data terminals, which will be placed in all police cars. Included in this will be 6 devices. It's a monthly fee of AT&T, and also the initial expense of 6 licenses. This will now allow our police officers to be able to communicate, when they pull a car over, they can just type it in, type the license plate in, information will come out. Currently, what we do is they usually radio it in to the dispatch. This is probably a long overdue need for our police vehicles. So I would recommend that the council approve this. There is funds available for this project, and also this is on the MPA, which is the master price agreement. The second one that is before you as it relates to the police department is the automated finger identification system, or AFIS. The current one that we have in the police station does not work. It has not worked for a while. The same thing, we are the only law enforcement agency in the state of Rhode Island that does not have an electronically interfaced fingerprint data with the Attorney General's office and the FBI. So based on this, I also would recommend that the council approve this request this evening.
thank you. I do see interim police chief Matthew Moynihan online.
I didn't see him.
Matthew, do you want to comment on any of this?
No, just to support basically town manager Crawford's statement is just really a long overdue. The mobile data terminals are really an essential tool for the officers. This will be more efficient for them to do the job, but also cut down on the radio traffic and really the demand on the dispatchers, which would free up them to do, answer the telephone and walk-in complaints that may come into the police department. The AFIS machine is not only used for the the automated interface between the FBI and the Rhode Island Bureau of Criminal Identification, but it's also used for any type of civilian fingerprint background checks that need to be done. So any daycare, educational facilities, it really provides the process of a no-ink system where someone's fingerprints are rolled onto the machine. They're electronically sent to the FBI and Rhode Island Bureau of Criminal Identification. The process of sending it is much more secure and a quicker return back on those results. So both items are just really essential tools and will really be a great advancement to the police department.
Thank you, Captain. I will make a motion to approve the New Shoreham Police Department purchases. A mobile data terminal and an automated fingerprint identification system.
Second.
Seconded by Sven. All those in favor? Mark?
Aye.
Martha?
Aye.
Sven?
Aye.
Yes.
I'm in favor. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Captain Moynihan. Thank you, Mary Ann. Much appreciate getting the police department what they need.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next item 11, receive and act on the town manager recommendations to award bids for town services, building official services, bed and breakfast, road material, road work, tippy cans, fire extinguishers, and maintenance of emergency lighting. Mary Ann?
So bed and breakfast, road material, bed and breakfast, we're awarding to the Springhouse Road Material to Sprague Farm. The tippy cans is to Block Island Recycle Management, and road work to A Transfer and Company. And the fire extinguisher is,
I have it. It's emergency lighting.
emergency lighting of, yes.
Emergency
So-
service.
Correct. And the last one is the building official services. I think this needs a little bit of explanation for the council. And as I've been keeping the council informed since I first started here with the retirement of Mark Tilson, our long-term building official, who also was grandfathered in to do mechanical, electrical, and plumbing inspection also. We did advertise to fill the position. We did not receive a single applicant. At the time, Mark Tilson and I spoke about what will be the next steps. And we discussed going out to bid. A number of communities in Rhode Island, a couple of communities in Rhode Island has gone down this route, that they go out to bid and a private company does provide certified building official services to the town. We did receive a bid and it was from Four Leaf, and I'm recommending that we award that bid to Four Leaf to provide certified building official services to the town. They are also, just so you know, Four Leaf just recently implemented and helped the town of Coventry implement their what's called OpenGov or e-permitting. So they will be working with us. We are slated to go live with e-permitting on Monday. And we're looking to have them start as early as Monday. Also, they're available to start sometime next week. So they'll also help us as we begin the implementation of e-permitting.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Can you clarify for me, because I always get confused on this, between the job of the building official and the building inspector, could you tell me what Four Leaf does as a building official?
Building official comes under the state law. It's on the state statute and regulations, and you have to be a certified building official. And to become that, you have to go through certain process and procedures of coursework and testing to get there. What has happened, not only here in Block Island, but other communities have also run into this problem. There are not certified building officials out there. The certified building officials that currently are out there are currently employed. And that's why you're starting to see a company like Four Leaf come forward as our certified building official. Like I said, I did go out, I advertised for certified building official. I did not get one applicant. We need to have a certified building official in order to approve building permits. What we have been doing in recent months, we had a gentleman by the name of Dave Murphy, who is the certified building official for the town of Westerly, has been taking time off from his job, taking vacation, coming out and helping us. The current building inspector that we have, Tom Rissom, has been putting together the building permits so that he can review and sign off on.
Thank you. I just wanted to get clarification on that. Is there any questions from the council on any of these bid awards? Mark?
Yeah, let's stick with building official. As we go to this new way of, or this new approach, if we have a deluge of requests for inspections, would we go to 2 days a week or possibly 3 days a week?
We have talked to him about that, about demand. Again, the good news that's going to help us in this process is the open gov, or the e-permitted, because now everything's all automated. So they can look at the permits, they can look at the plans and the application online, which we haven't had that opportunity before. It was all in paper and things like that. So yeah, if there's a demand, they would be coming out more. And we spoke to them today about that demand. And right now we look like as if 1 day a week will be enough. We talked about, well, we got a call about a mechanical inspection. How do we work around that? So we have talked through that, and the timeline, the days they come out and how often may change based on the demand.
Okay, my last question is about the bed and breakfast contract. Is that mostly for off-season?
Usually it's for off-season. We do have some on-season. This bed and breakfast contract is for guests that are guests of the town that need a place to stay.
But that's mostly off-season, right? Because of the...
Yeah, it's pretty much off-season because the boats don't run as often, and occasionally it's during the summer month. But for the most part, it's the off-season.
Understood. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Councilors, any other questions from you guys? Martha? Public. See a hand up. I see a hand. Councilors, you're all good because I got a public hand up. Okay, thank you. Okay, 401-497-5181. If you could unmute yourself and identify yourself and let us know what's on your mind tonight.
Andre, it's David Lewis for the record.
David Lewis. We should have you already plugged in there, David. 497-5181. Go ahead, David.
So in this whole conversation, I find it strange that the council has not asked one question about any of these contracts, specifically the ones that are for limited terms, with the building official services, what the length of the contract is, and especially on that one, what the contracted price is that's being recommended. None of that information is posted on ClerkBase. I'm wondering if you're looking at something that should be that the public should be able to see on ClerkBase, or what the answers to those questions might be. Do you all know them?
Just so the council know, it's in the memo that was sent to you folks. And I thought the memo was on ClerkBase.
I thought so too.
So I think I've seen a pattern here in recent months that there are a lot of memos that are circulating to the council only that don't make themselves available to the public. Because I'm not sure what the reasons are, but I would guess that a lot of it has to do with the timetable and the short term of the timetable. So I would simply ask that there be a little bit more effort in that regard, and specifically with regard to the building official services, could that be posted after the meeting so that we can look at it tomorrow?
Yeah, I have no problem with that. And also I will follow up as to why my memos aren't up on ClerkBase. I thought they were.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. And to answer the other question, these are yearly contracts, correct?
Well,
no, if you look at my memo,
Go ahead, Marion.
The memo state,
Except for building official.
The memo is on clerk base.
I thought they were, yeah. They're all 2-year contracts.
It doesn't reference, the memo on clerk base doesn't reference prices for building official.
And Marion, what is the dollar amount on that building official?
It's an hourly rate and a daily rate.
Go ahead.
Certified building official hourly rate is 125. Building inspector 185, building inspector 295, electrical inspector 125, mechanical 125, plumbing 125, electronic plan review 125 an hour.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
On-site services on a daily basis is $13.50.
$13.50 a day.
Correct.
Questions?
Just one last one, please. Is that a 1-year contract or a 3-year contract or a multi-year contract for them with the building official services?
It's a 2-year contract.
2-year contract. Thank you. That's all the questions I had
Correct.
on that particular item. Andre, thank you.
Thanks for calling, David. It's nice to hear from you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Questions? No questions. I will make a motion to award the bids for the town services, building official services, bed and breakfast, road material, road work, tippy cans, fire extinguishers, and maintenance. Bed and breakfast, the Spring House, collection of trash and tippy cans, Block Island Recycling Management, road material, Sprague Farm Incorporated, roadwork, A Transu Corp., and the maintenance of the fire extinguishers and the emergency lighting to Emergency Services of New England LLC.
Second.
Seconded by Keith. Questions? All those in favor? Mark?
Aye.
Keith?
Yes.
Martha?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
And I'm in favor also. Motion carries 5-0. Number 12 on the agenda is discuss and act on the legislative agenda. Is there anything in here that anybody would like to discuss, talk about, approve, send forward? I don't have anything this evening. I do know that this Thursday night that net metering is before the Senate. If anybody wants to send in any written comments or I believe face-to-face, we have a meeting, but at that time, so we won't be able to do that. That's what I do know about Thursday. Molly, is there anything you could add to that? Or is that pretty much the news of the week?
The hearing is before Senate Commerce, and the town has submitted written testimony or written comment in the form of supporting a letter from last year. So you
Perfect.
have weighed in on that.
Thank you.
I have nothing to add, except the revised agenda also includes an item that you may not have in front of you. It's called Discuss and Act on Resolution Regarding Request for Intervention of Attorney General in the Washington County Superior Court case, Town of New Shoreham et al. Versus Coastal Resources Management, CA number, and then it references the Superior Court case for Champlain's.
And that was added to our agenda after Monday. Sven, I don't have that agenda in front of me. Do you want to take that? I'll pull it up on ClerkBase.
Sure.
I'm from my hard packet. So go ahead, Sven.
Yep. So without getting a huge amount of detail, Kathy, I believe Kathy wrote this up. This is basically a resolution that asks the Attorney General to intervene into the Superior Court actions, which are scheduled for September 19th. There are actually two different hearings, but the one really regards a motion that Kathy is very, very involved in. And it's a consolidated, Molly just read it, but in the consolidated case of Champlain's Realty Associates versus Paulie Lamont et al. And Town of New Shore Coastal Resource Management Council in the state of Rhode Island. And this basically asked the AG to intervene, much like they did in the Supreme Court regarding the MOU between the CRMC and Champlain's. And I think I can read the whole thing if we want to, but it basically has very similar standing to the Supreme Court request. And as I hope everybody knows, the Supreme Court, the AG did look into it and had some opinions about the case. The Supreme Court ruling when they made this about 10 days ago. The good news is in the order from the Supreme Court, they said that the town was an intervener as well as the conservation groups, etc. But they did not address any of the issues that the AG discussed because they said it was not in their purview. It was not relevant or in the scope of their focus. It is now going to be great work by Kathy. It is now in front of the Superior Court on April 19th. And we're asking the AG, or this resolution would ask the AG to intervene and take a look at the actions between the CRMC board, nothing to do with staff, the CRMC board and Champlain's.
Thank you, Sven. I was able to pull it up. I will read it because it's not on Clerkbase. It was in our it was sent to us
Okay.
in the 6th. So
If you wanted me to read it just to save you the breath, I will, but thank you, Andre.
I don't mind. All right, so New Shore Town Council resolution in support of Rhode Island Attorney General intervention. Whereas in 2003, Champlain's applied to the CRMC for an assent to expand
Not on.
in the Great Salt Pond, and the town opposed the application and intervened in the CRMC proceedings and the appeals which resulted therefom. And whereas as a result of the first Supreme Court appeal, the case was remanded to the CRMC, which by written decision dated May 6, 2011, and containing some 90 separate findings of fact and 10 conclusions of law, denied the expansion. And whereas the Superior Court on February 11th, 2020, in the consolidated cases of Champlain's Realty Associates versus Paul E. Lamont et al., CA numbers WC 11-0615 and WC 11-0616, the town of New Shore versus the Coastal Resources Management Council of the state of Rhode Island, CA number WC 11-0333, affirmed in all respects the CRMC decision denying the expansion. And whereas Champlain's filed a petition for writ of certiorari regarding the 2020 Supreme Court decision with the Rhode Island Supreme Court, which granted the petition to review the decision. And whereas on January 8th, 2021, Champlain's and the CRMC filed in the Supreme Court a joint motion which recited that Champlain's and the CRMC had engaged in mediation and entered into a, quote, memorandum of understanding, MOU, to grant Champlain's a permit to expand its marina, and that the CRMC had voted to approve the MOU. And whereas the Attorney General successfully pursued an intervention motion in the Supreme Court arising, among other things, out of the Attorney General's concern for preserving the integrity of the CRMC administrative process and protecting the public from non-transparent agency decision-making. And whereas through the Supreme Court denied the joint motion, Champlain's asserts that the Supreme Court did not dispute the legitimacy of the settlement, and that, quote, the settlement is still in place, end quote, which clearly signals Champlain's intention, even if it loses the pending Supreme Court appeal, to continue its effort to leverage the MOU as a CRMC decision granting its marina expansion. And whereas the town has filed an administrative appeal from the CRMC's closed session vote approving the MOU, which is currently pending in the Washington County Superior Court, Town of New Shore et al. Versus Coastal Resources Management Council, case number WC-2021-0440044, And whereas the substantive issues involving the CRMC's closed session vote to approve the MOU remain to be litigated in the Superior Court Administrative Appeal. And whereas the public interest that motivated the Attorney General's intervention in the Supreme Court remains under threat, and the Attorney General's participation in the administrative appeal is clearly warranted and will add significantly to the force of that appeal. Now, therefore, the Council, pursuant to this resolution, urges Attorney General Noronha to intervene in the administrative appeal for all those reasons set forth in the Attorney General's intervention motion, which was granted by the Supreme Court, including, without limitation, the protection of the public interest and the safeguarding of the administrative process. Further be it resolved that this council resolution shall become effective immediately upon its passage by the New Shoreham Town Council and be made a permanent record of the town. Witness our hands, the seals, this day of April 2021. And that is the resolution that we're voting on tonight.
Thank
So I will make a motion to, hang on a minute. Sven, you want to make that motion? I lost my clerk base. I don't have the agenda item in front of me. Sorry.
No, it's unfortunately the agenda I printed out.
That's all right. I can dig up my clerk base here.
If you can, I have.
I've got it.
Martha, thank you.
Martha. You make the motion.
Many screens are open over here. All right, go ahead, Martha.
Act to approve the resolution resolution request for intervention of the Attorney General in the Washington County Superior Court, Town New Shoreham et al. Versus Coastal Resources Management Council, number WC 2021-0044.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded on a resolution. Is there any questions? I see none from the council and on public. Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor, Martha?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Steve?
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor, motion carries 5-0.
Quick question of process, and Molly or somebody, we need to sign this. Can everybody get in tomorrow just so it can be sent off? Because timing is really sensitive given the April 19th coming dates. So if you guys could get in to sign tomorrow, that'd be great. Thank you.
I'll leave copies in the council office.
Okay. So were we still on the legislative agenda when when Molly brought this to our attention? Or are we set with the legislative agenda?
Yeah, I thought we were set.
No, we were done.
Okay.
I will say there's another item of local interest on that Senate Commerce agenda, and it's the Uber legislation that Senator Sosnowski introduced on behalf of the town.
And that's being heard when?
Tomorrow night.
What, do you have a time on that?
Not off the top of my head, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. I don't really worry about the Senate anyway. That's passed in the Senate 3 years in a row. We do have comment into that. So I think we're good because we do have a meeting tomorrow night. If anybody wants to send a letter, feel free. But I would hope that the, as many taxi people as could get in there and, say their piece. Molly, did you send a note does the taxi commission, the taxi drivers know this is going on Thursday?
I sent it out to one of the taxi drivers who's acted as the point of communication on it.
Could you just send a note to Brad, just have him disperse that?
I definitely will. That was my oversight.
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure they all have the opportunity.
Yeah, I sent it out to Jim Rondinoni, who's been really organized with getting information about this legislation to the members and the licensees, but I'll definitely send it to Brad tomorrow.
Thank you. Act on boards, commissions, and committees. We'll announce the vacancies. We currently have vacancies on the Historic District Commission, the Zoning Board. I believe that's an alternate. That's Keith, right? And Motor Vehicles for Hire and Senior Advisory. It says appoint members to the Zoning Board and Motor Vehicles for Hire and appoint a CRMC local representative. I don't see any letters for zoning and motor vehicles for hire. Am I missing something?
You are not, there were no letters. Those appointments are ripe, but you have no applicants for them.
And we also lost someone on the Deer Task Force too, right?
Correct. We'll get that posted.
Yeah, so has it been 30 days for senior advisory yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so we don't have anything to do here tonight. Just to announce the vacancies because there's no letters for any of these other ones, including the CRMC local.
That's right. Just opportunities to serve and opportunities to recruit.
Out of there.
Does the council have any questions on any? Council have any questions on any of these appointments or?
What's the matter?
Just the
Yeah, I wanted to hear that. We have some correspondence regarding purchase of Plat 19, Lot 3. We'll accept that as correspondence. And act to approve minutes March 10th, March 17th, March 24th, and March 29th. So council, do you have all those minutes in front of you?
You.
Yes, sir.
Does anybody have any comments on the content of those? Are there any there that you would like to, any changes you see in there?
Let's just start and go down.
Okay.
Can we do them all at once?
Well, I was going to do them all at once unless there was some changes. That's why I was asking, Mark.
Yeah, it's not that many. Can we do them individually?
Sure. I will make a motion that we approve the minutes of Wednesday, March 10th, 2021.
Second.
Seconded by Mark. All the, any comments on those? Motion is made and seconded to approve the minutes of March 10th, 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry. Sven, Keith?
Yep.
Martha? Martha. Approving March 10th. In favor or not?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I.
Yeah, and I'm in favor. Motion carries March 10th, 5-0. Excuse me. Motion be in order to approve the minutes from Wednesday, March 17th. Any comments or second?
I'll second for discussion. First of all, I have to abstain because I wasn't at the meeting, but it has me present in the first line, but states that I was not present later on. So just remove me from the first line.
You were there in spirit.
Yeah.
That means we're talking about you. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor? Mark?
I'll abstain.
Martha?
Aye.
Yes.
And Sven?
Right.
In favor. Motion carries 4-1 with one abstention. Wednesday, motion be in order to approve the minutes of Wednesday, March 24th, 2021.
Second.
Seconded by Sven. Discussion?
This is open only, correct, Andre?
Sorry?
This is open only, correct?
At 4 p.m. The 4 p.m. meeting.
Just the open session, correct?
There's an open and a closed.
Yep. Right now I'm working on the open was on top. All those in favor?
Aye.
Martha, Mark,
Aye.
Sven?
Aye.
Keith?
Yes.
I approve. Motion carries 5-0 for the open session. Confidential closed minutes, Wednesday, March 24th. Motion be in order to approve those minutes.
Second.
Seconded by Mark. Any changes? If there are, they would need to be done in closed session. Motion been made and seconded for the minute Wednesday, March 24th, confidential closed session minutes. All those in favor, Martha,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Sven?
Aye.
Yes.
I'm in favor. Motion carries 5-0. Minutes of March 29th. Motion be in order to approve these minutes. I'll make that motion.
Second. Mark.
Second by Mark. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Mark is an aye. Sven?
Aye.
Keith?
Yes.
Martha?
Aye.
In favor, motion carries. Approve the minutes, March 29th, Wednesday, 4 PM. Perfect. Get my hold of my agenda here. Okay, we have number 15, receive and act on Champions Realty Associates et al. Consolidated versus Coastal Resources Management Council of the State of Rhode Island. Item may begin closed session pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 42-46-5A2 for discussion pertaining to litigation. Kathy Marola, does this need to go into closed session?
Yes, it does.
Okay, thank you. I'll make one motion. I'm just going to go through the list. And number 16, discuss and act on contract negotiations with the town of New Shore, Rhode Island, and International Brotherhood of Police Officers, Local 720, representing members of the New Shore Police Department. This discussion may be held in closed session pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42-46-5A2, sessions pertaining to collective bargaining or litigation, or work sessions pertaining to collective bargaining or litigation. Anything about that needing to go to closed session?
Yes, it does. It's negotiations.
Thank you. Number 17, receive and act on a report from the town solicitor regarding Fenimore and Fisher Inc. et al. Versus Town of New Shore et al. WC-2021-0063. This item may be held in closed session pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42-46-5A2 for sessions pertaining to litigation. Recommendation to go into close on this one?
Yes.
I make a motion that we go into closed session on items 15, 16, and 17.
Second.
All those in, motion made and seconded. All those in favor, Martha,
Aye.
Keith,
Yes.
and
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
I'm in favor. We're going to go into closed session. If there's anything to report on any of these items when we get back, we will do so. I want to thank everybody who will drop off and not wait around for coming tonight. Much appreciated. We'll see you in the closed session.
This is the same closed session.
Just waiting on Martha, right? There she is.
I'm here on Millie's computer, so you're not going to see my name. It's just a question of where these meetings are being broadcast from.
Yes, Town of Newton, I assume. Perfect. I think we have everybody. Right. Keith, Sven, Martha, Mark. Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, everybody, for waiting. I will make an announcement that no votes were taken and a motion to seal the minutes.
Second.
Motion to seal the minutes of the closed session, seconded by Sven. All those in favor, Keith,
Yes.
Mark,
Aye.
Martha,
Aye.
and Sven.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Motion carries 5-0. That being said, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded by Sven. All those in favor, Keith,
Yes.
Mark,
Aye.
Martha,
Aye.
and Sven.
Aye.
And I approve, and I'm also in favor. Motion carries. Thank you all. We will see you here again tomorrow night.